we give you a chance to fight professional, but your opponent will be like 90 kilo more than you. He's slow, of course, but if he punch me, I will sleep. So it was easy. And next year, they will do a tournament at 84 kilo, 8 fighters, the winner win 100,000 euros. Most of people do kickboxing in Japan, never do sparring. They want to punch, but don't want to get punched.
Hey there, and thank you for tuning in. We're excited to bring you another great conversation today. If you like the show and want to support us, please hit the subscribe button so we can keep bringing you great content week after week. And if you're feeling extra generous, give this video a like and share your thoughts and comments down below. Thank you so much. And now, let's get into it. Welcome to Unpacking Japan. I'm Toby, and today we welcome Stephane. Thank you very much for coming. You're a professional MMA fighter here in Japan and coach of a variety of martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai, also here in Osaka. So we're going to talk about combat sports in Japan, the leagues, how they work, and kind of your professional career here. And as I like to start my conversations, I want to go back a little bit to the beginning and what brought you to Japan in the first place.
First time I came in Japan was a few years ago, just as a vacation. And then after I lived 1 year in Thailand, I started MMA in Thailand, and I trained in a gym with a Japanese fighter, and one become my friend, and now he's my manager, and he bring me to Osaka.
Oh, so you kind of started traveling and you discovered Muay Thai
Yeah.
in Thailand. Why did you decide to go to Thailand for a whole year?
I was in France and working full time, and at the beginning I just I did kickboxing in France, and just I wanted to do my first trip. First time in my life, I was young, and just going a trip for 5 weeks. And I went to Thailand and tried Muay Thai. It was like so beautiful country and so nice sport. So I came back to France and say to my boss, I work 1 more year and then I move. And I did.
Cool. So in Thailand, when you went there for 1 year, was it just to do sports or?
Yes, but it was hard because I arrived 11 March. I did my first professional fight the 13 March, and the 15 March there is a curfew for the COVID. So I stayed like 6 months in a hotel and train, but there is no fight. So it was hard. And finally, after 1 year, I came back to France because no fight means no money.
So you were kind of locked up in a hotel in Thailand, but you met a Japanese coach and partner who is still your coach and training partner today. Muay Thai is one specific form of combat. And then did you have any interest in like MMA in general at the time already?
No, because at this time, MMA was illegal in France.
Really?
So yes, just legal for 5 years now. So when I start kickboxing, I was 16 years old. Now I'm 32, so 16 years old. 16 years ago. I just started by kickboxing because I lived in a very small city and there is only one gym. And so in Thailand, I discovered the Muay Thai and also MMA, just like experience. I like to try new things. And so for the first time, I tried. It was so funny, so interesting. Like I was so bad, of course, but so many technique, and I like to learn new stuff.
Because if you have Muay Thai, you have like, it's one kind of Thai combat sports with a set of rules. And you have kickboxing, it's another one. But MMA, mixed martial arts, is all of them combined. So when you do it for the first time, how do you know what you can or cannot do?
I know the rules because I'm interested by combat sport. But yeah, it's frustrating at the beginning because you do Muay Thai, you feel good in the ring, but MMA, you start the sparring, the guy take you down, and then you don't know what to do. You are like a baby on your back and like, and the guy is so strong. And so it was interesting to start training grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu.
And what exactly was so interesting for you that you decided, okay, I'm actually going to follow this coach to Osaka and move to Japan to kind of start a professional MMA career?
So at the beginning, I sent him a message. I was in Thailand and say, I want to come in vacation 1 more time in Japan. I would like to do amateur fight. And can you help me to fight in Japan? He said yes, so I came. And I was supposed to stay 1 month, and finally I stayed 3 months. and I was feeling so good, having new friends, new partner, training partners. And at this time, I was not happy in France, not happy in my job. I broke up with my ex-girlfriend. I was alone. So I was like, I don't know what to do. And someone tell me, oh, but you are still 30 years old. You can do a working holiday visa and come in Japan 1 year. So I came back to France, make my visa and come back for more long time.
Did you have any idea what it would be like as a professional fighter here?
No, because when I came back also for 1 year, I was still amateur. And then Grachan is a organization in Japan, small organization, and they asked me to fight as a professional for the first time. And so like it's like we give you a chance to fight professional, but you have to accept your opponent will be 168 kilo. It's like open weight fight, like old style MMA, Japanese MMA. So we give you a chance, but your opponent will be like 90 kilo more than you.
Okay, we're gonna go into that a little bit, but I want to understand a bit more about just MMA in general, because we're gonna talk about this. Most people know maybe mixed martial arts is what it stands for. Do you know a little bit where this comes from? I was reading that it actually has a lot of origins here in Japan.
So yeah, it's a mix of martial art as a name, and so mix of boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, so many martial arts. The martial art is very present in Japan. There is the karate, a lot of karate. There is judo is very useful in MMA, and so many martial arts. And so long time ago, there is the organization named Pride, was the very first big MMA organization, and so it was very spectacular fight, and it was the beginning of the famous MMA. And then after the UFC came and buried Pride, and now it's American, very famous organization. But the beginning was in Japan.
What was so spectacular about those fights?
The rules are a bit different in Japan. And for example, MMA rules, you can punch, you can kick, elbow, knee, and you can take down your opponent. On the ground, you can use your punch and your elbow. It's like the international rules.
Mhm.
But in Japan, you can kick the face of someone in the ground. So it was very spectacular. Like you knock someone out and you jump on his face with your feet. It's like crazy, more dangerous. And actually, in Japan, the number one is rising, and they keep these rules, like Japanese old style. And my last fight was also these rules.
So this is still applicable today.
Yes, in Japan only.
Wow, that sounds very very dangerous. I can imagine for people that want to see this kind of very brutal combat, they will turn to MMA. It's still relatively new, I think. It really kind of started booming in the 80s, even though historically there's been like a lot in the back. How does the league work here in Japan? You are now part, I think, of like the Asia Pacific League, but you also fight in the Japan League. How is it kind of all structured?
So it's a professional organization. So in Japan, you have the main is rising. It's like the top. After you have little bit smaller organization. You have Pancras, Shuto, and Deep. So my last fight was in Deep. And there is like connection. If you are very good in this kind of organization, they can push you to go to Rising. And then after you have like the last tier, it's like small, like local organization. So in Osaka, you have War Dog. It's very small. There's only Osaka. And so Grachan is one of those also. And so you start by the small organization. If you're good, you go to the little bit bigger. Then if you win, you go to the Rising.
So it's kind of like football leagues. You have like the...
Yes, but it's like different organization. They have contact. Some organization don't like each other. Like, for example, I fight in Grachan, and someone asked me to fight in Gladiator, local organization in Osaka. And the boss tell me, no, if you go to Gladiator, you don't fight anymore in Grachan.
Oh, interesting. So because it's also tied to business, I imagine, and therefore they want to kind of keep their sponsors, keep their network to themselves.
Yeah, so there is like, for example, Deep has very good connection with Rising, but not good connection with another one. It's like,
So when you kind of moved to Osaka, you didn't really know necessarily about all of these, and you start joining with your coach. How do you approach this? You have the opportunity to be professional. Do you need to think about, oh, I should fight in this league or in that league, or?
no. Like I came in Japan just to train. When they offered me to fight in Gratchan, I didn't know anything. I just know there is rising, and after I don't know anything. So I learned by myself. Like I start fighting, and so I start to try to find information about everything. But yeah, at the beginning it was just an adventure.
And eventually, you have the first opportunity for a fight, but they tell you the guy is going to be 168 kilo, 90 kilos more than you were at the time. In most combat sports, to my knowledge, you have very strict weight categories so
Yeah.
that there is like an even chance, an even level of power. But 90 kilos, that's like a lot.
Yes, 2 times me. But it's same, like it's all style rules. Like you can only find this in Japan. In the rest of the world, you have heavyweight is 93 kilo to 120. You can't be more than 120. It's the limit. And then after you have light heavyweight, middleweight. And in Japan, you have weight class, but the problem in Japan there is not middleweight is 83 kilo, 84, and light heavyweight is 93. But Japanese people are a little bit smaller than French people, for example, or American, and there is not that much heavyweight, light heavyweight. And so in Japan, it's funny because you have welterweight, people are 77 kilo, and if you are not in this weight class, you are heavyweight.
Okay, so if you're above 77, then suddenly you're like heavyweight already.
Yeah,
But it's still pretty light in like Western standards.
yes. So when I fight for my first time, another fight was open weight fight. They call like this, or in deep they call that megaton weight. The guy was like 85 kilo. His opponent was 115. It's a lot, especially in the sport. You can take down your opponent. If you are on him in the ground, it's very hard with 30 kilo difference.
So how did you approach that first fight of yours with a guy that was 90 kilo more than you?
Strike and run.
Okay, so you have to kind of constantly be in movement and
Yeah.
don't let him catch you.
Because he's slow, of course. He don't have a lot of stamina. But if he punch me, I will sleep. So it was easy. Like 1-2 strike, go back. 1-2 strike, go back. Only this.
Does this mean that for a fight like this, for example, depending on your opponent, you kind of choose which martial art is best suited? So here, like 1 or 2 strikes and then you kind of move back feels more like boxing than judo, for example. You're not going to try to like.
Yeah, of course. It's called game plan. And for example, this guy, my game plan was striking and moving. I'm a striker, so most of the time my game plan is striking. But for example, in my last fight, my opponent was from judo. And so my game plan is a bit different. We work on some defense because he want to take me down. So it was a bit different.
When a fight like this is decided, how much time do you have to prepare for it?
Usually it's 2 months. In Japan, especially in small organization, sometimes they call you just a few weeks before. So it's a bit more difficult, but in a nice, like professional organization, it's around 2 months.
What do you do in those 2 months? What goes into that preparation for a fight?
So first you have to look your opponent video, understand his style. So he is orthodox or southpaw or striker and or jiu-jitsu fighter, and then see what can works against him. And everyone do mistakes, so we have to find his mistakes to work on it. And also you have to work on your weight because, like for example, my next fight is in 2 months from today, and I have to lose 12 kilo.
Lose 12 kilo.
Yeah, I'm 98 today. I fight at 86 on September. I have to start my diet from next week. So I'm happy to hit hamburger this week because it's finished for 2 months after. And so a lot of cardio training to have good condition. There is 3 important parts to be ready. Your physical conditioning. So be on weight and have good stamina, good technique, and prepare for your opponent style. And your mental. Be ready is maybe the most important part. You can be very strong, but if you don't trust in yourself, you lose.
It's like this famous quote, I think it's from Mike Tyson, right? You can prepare as much as you want, but as soon as you get punched in the face, all the plans are gone.
Mm.
So that I want to go back to that first fight. You step in the ring and you have a game plan. How does the fight go?
Uh, Very good. I applied my game plan, and maybe just after 2 minutes, the guy was bleeding, broken nose, and cut. So it's very good for me. And I saw in his face he's not happy to be here after 2 minutes. And I was surprised because usually when you bleed in a fight, the fight continue. If you bleed too much, they stop the fight because it's dangerous. But it's not like boxing. In MMA, if I punch you and you are a little bit knocked out, it's not like 1, 2, the fight finish. And so same for the blood. Like if you are bleeding, there is not like a medical check or something. We continue. But in this fight, they stopped the fight like boxing. It was a bit weird, but they gave him like 2 minute rest. But for a guy who try to punch me hard and don't have stamina, giving 2 minute rest after 2 minute fights, it's a lot. So I win the beginning of the fight, then they give him rest. He rushed me after, but it was okay. And they give him another time the 2 minute rest. I think if they don't do that, I win by KO in the first round. And finally, I won by decision. I can't KO him. I was feeling it at the end of the fight. It's too dangerous to try to KO him because I know I'm winning. So it's better to keep my distance and just moving around than take risk and maybe take a punch. After 10-minute fight, just take one punch and get KO. So I just move around and safety.
So a fight is 10 minutes usually when it goes to the very end?
No, normally a professional fight is 3 rounds of 5 minutes, so 15 minutes.
Okay.
If it's big organization and title match, it's 5 rounds of 5 minutes, so 25 minutes.
That's long.
Yes. And in Japan, same like Japan has special rules. In small organization, it's 2 rounds of 5 minutes. If you win by decision or KO, it's finished. If there is a draw after 2 rounds, you can make extra round.
So when you step into the ring and you start a fight, do you usually get a quick feeling for how it's going to go, and like if the other opponent is in good shape, if he's ready, or if he's, in that case of your first fight, maybe a bit unstable? And
The day before the fight, you have the weight check and the face-off with your opponent. So you can see if he's stressed or something. But on the day of the fight, I try to focus on myself. Because we all have stress, especially in this kind of moment. You will fight in front of like 100 people. Next fight, it will be on TV, for example, in front of 5,000 people in Paris. And so you imagine if you win by KO, but sometimes you have bad imagination. You imagine, oh, if that happened like this, he KO me and I lost in front of my family or my friends. So I prefer to work on myself and focus to think about good things.
the 3 rounds of 5 minutes, you mentioned Japan has a lot of special rules, like you can kick someone who's on the ground in the face. What are the limits? When do they stop a fight? When do they, or how do they ensure that, okay, it doesn't go too far?
So first you can win by KO. So if I punch you or kick you in the face and we see you are totally out, like you fall on the ground, totally out, the referee stop. It's finished. And also that's why there is more damage on the brain than boxing. Because boxing, I knock you out. You have 10 seconds to wake up. If that's happened, we continue. So maybe you take many damage on the brain and we continue to fight. In MMA, if that's happened, one punch, finish. But maybe now I punch you, you fall on the ground, but you are not KO. You fall on the ground. I can continue to punch you. If I punch you maybe 5, 6 times and you don't defend, the referee will stop. It's like technical knockout, TKO. And after, the next is a submission. If I choke you, or like my last fight, I lose by armbar. So I tap. If it's too painful, I tap and the referee stop.
So there are some rules in place, but generally it's kind of more diverse. You mentioned that some of the opponents, they have like a background from judo, or someone else comes from kickboxing. Um, since it's mixed martial arts and there's like so many, Are there some that are much more popular or that are kind of better to use in MMA and others that nobody?
Of course, like actually, if you look the UFC, there is so many fighter coming from wrestling from Dagestan. It's like the number one actually,
Interesting.
and after that is jiu-jitsu. Actually, everyone can punch someone. Of course, if you do boxing or kickboxing, you have more technique. But you can be the world kickboxing champion. If you are on the ground, you don't know what to do. And so there is guys like from wrestling, grappling, and jiu-jitsu are very strong for this. Just you are a good striker, but they don't let you to strike. And so I think it's the most useful, like jiu-jitsu, grappling, wrestling, and for striking, Muay Thai and boxing.
So you come from that kind of punching background from your training, and now you're in sports where some of the most useful is grappling and wrestling. How do you approach this? Because you have to relearn everything against opponents that have been doing this maybe for a long time.
Actually, I'm training on grappling more than kickboxing or boxing. So I train on this. It's like it's still my weak point, but I'm working on it.
What does your training look like when you kind of prepare for a fight?
Depend of the day because I train every day. Some days I have sparring training, MMA. Sometimes grappling. Sometimes it's cardio training. And but so yeah, the focus actually is on the grappling. And so my trainer teach me technique, group class with other people, and then after we do situational sparring and then sparring.
How is it now for you to train here in a gym in Osaka with your coach compared to, for example, when you were training in Thailand or training in France for different kind of martial arts? Do you notice a different way maybe Japanese coaches approach the training of martial art?
So my coach is not Japanese. My coach is from Scotland,
Okay.
but living in Osaka. I don't know if there is a big difference, but it was hard at the beginning. I came into train in Japan without speaking Japanese.
Hmm.
So what I can say is every coach was very nice. For example, I trained jiu-jitsu in Japan with Sakai-san, if you watch this. He was so nice with me because he see every day I don't understand anything, but he take time every day to teach me and show me because it's sport. You can show the movement even if you don't understand, like the body language. And every day they try to help me to learn even if I don't speak Japanese. So it was very nice for this.
Japan has a lot of martial arts, karate, judo, aikido, and many, many more. Um, how big is MMA in Japan? It kind of developed here and there was a big league, but do people prefer to kind of stay in their respective martial arts or?
I think if we talk about just combat sport, I think MMA is number one in Japan actually.
Oh,
But if we talk about all sport, of course, it's soccer and baseball in Japan. And then after combat sport. And maybe also basketball is before. Maybe actually boxing also is very famous in Japan, especially because the best boxer in the world is Japanese.
is
So
it Naoya Inoue?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's like when you are from, like for example, it's like France. Like when we had Zinedine Zidane, everyone likes soccer because we want to see him play and win because he's so strong. And so I think it's a little bit same in Japan now because they have this boxer and he's so good and so beautiful to. It's like yeah, beautiful boxing. When you see, it's like I don't know how to say, but it's incredible. And when you see that, you want to watch this sport. And so I think actually it's like this in Japan, and so they like boxing for this.
I find it like MMA or boxing. Sometimes, if you're not a fan or not a practitioner of the sport, sometimes hard to understand. So I've watched a few of those fights from Naoya Inoue or other boxers, and well, sometimes it's clear who's winning because the other guy is like shaky and not standing up straight. But sometimes you watch them fight and you're like, oh, this guy looks like he's winning, and then the judges decide, no, the other guy won. And you're like, how did that happen? Um, how do you evaluate? You said for them he has very beautiful boxing. How do you uh, kind of understand the sport better if you start watching it?
Yes. I think, and also, and maybe more for MMA, if you and me watch the same fight, we don't see the same things.
Mm.
I see more detail. And for the winner, you have to understand, like in a fight, same in boxing, there is like a point system round by round. So if you watch a boxing fight of 10 rounds, the winner of the round are 10 points. If it's like a draw, 10-10. If I win, we do a fight together and I'm a little bit better than you, it's 10-9. If I'm a lot better than you, it's 10-8. And if I like knock you down one time or something, 10-7. It's this point. And then every round you make like the addition of every round and you have the point of the fight. And so sometimes you see a fight and the last round you will see a guy winning like the last round very hard. But before that, he lost maybe 3 rounds. And so he was very good at the end, and the opponent is bleeding because last round was very good. But before that, he lost 3 rounds. So that's why he lose on point system.
You described his the boxing style as like beautiful to watch. Is this something that is also the case when watching like MMA fights, or MMA fights more like described it as like spectacular and brutal? So is it less about the beauty of the movement and more about kind of the aggressiveness of the fight?
Yeah, for me it's beautiful. It's like art, martial art, and some fighters especially are very good. It's like when I'm a fighter and when I see some UFC fighter doing like techniques, I want to know how to do this. I want to have this reflex, for example. And yeah, for me it's beautiful to see.
So who are like now the big fighters in Japan? Not necessarily only boxing, but like MMA.
MMA in Japan, the most famous is Kai Asakura. He's a Japanese fighter. He was in Rising, and now he moved to UFC. And for the first time in UFC history, they take a fighter from another league and make him fight for the title match. Normally, that not happening. You come in the UFC, you have to climb in the rankings and then fight for the belt. But him, because I think UFC is like a business, they want to be more famous in Japan. They take the biggest fighter in Japan and make him fight for the belt.
It's like I remember there was this fight, Tenshin Natsukawa, who
Mm.
fought against Mayweather, right? But
Yes,
he lost in like 2 seconds or something like that.
yes, and that's at this moment you see boxing is boxing, kickboxing is kickboxing. They are both very strong in their sport. Floyd Mayweather in one of, maybe some people don't agree with this, I know, but he is one of the best boxer of all time, especially his defense. Like I told you, it's beautiful to see. So Mayweather like this and moving on every punch, like matrix reflex. It's beautiful to see. And Tenshin is one of the best kickboxer in the world. But yeah, in boxing, he was not good at the moment. And Floyd Mayweather was like 40 something years old. He was like not in his physical prime or something, but he won easy. So yeah, kickboxing is kickboxing, boxing is boxing.
But then MMA, you put both in the same ring.
Yeah, that's why it's interesting to see what is the best. But like this fight was in boxing, so you ask a kickboxer to don't kick. So it's very hard. The same as me. Ask me to do a boxing fight, I'm very bad because I like to knee and use my elbow and kicks. If you change the rules, of course we are bad. Ask a soccer player to do a basketball match, it will be bad. But it's a game. It's a game with a ball. So, but MMA, we all have the same rules. You can do everything.
So that popular Japanese fighter Kai Asukawa is now going to fight for the title in the UFC. It's the first time that a non.
He did it already and lost.
Oh, but it's kind of also a marketing stunt, right? So you mentioned they want to bring more attention to the league and so on. But the usual way is you get into the league and you have to fight your way up.
Yeah.
How does this usually work, and how long does this take? If you're a new fighter in a league, how long does it take you? Let's say you're good to kind of go up and you can challenge for a title.
If we talk about the UFC, so you start outside of the ranking and then you have to climb to the top 15 and then top 10, top 5. takes years. It's long because you fight like one time every 4 months. Some fighter fight every 6 months, so means 2 fights a year. So it's very long to climb. And after the point of like it's a business. There is some fighters like Alex Pereira was very good to sell fight and was impressive with big knockout. So for him, it takes just like maybe 2 years. But if you are not impressive fighter, it can take long time. And for example, in France, we have a very good fighter, Taylor Lapillus. He's also a MMA commentator for TV. He's so good, so good. But when he fights, it's not like impressive KO. And so he did 4 fights in the UFC, 3 win, 1 loss. They stop his contract. It's a business. He's good. He's better than his opponent. But for the people who watch TV, he's not impressive. So they stop the contract and take another fighter. There is some fighter, they lose 3 fights in a row, but impressive fight. They keep them. So it's business.
So does this affect the sport in a way? Because
course.
if you're an athlete and you want to practice the martial art, you want to perfect your technique, you want to try to move better, but your goal is to win the fight always. But if you actually want to make a living out of this, you have to make spectacular fights. Maybe you have to move in a very ugly way, but that people are like, wow, this is amazing.
Exactly. Like actually, your fight result has same like importance than your Instagram follower. Like if you are negotiating a new contract about the money, you need to have many followers on Instagram and Facebook and everything. Now they watch this in the big organization.
So that's the big business side of things. Well, what about the fighter side of things? Now you're professional here in Japan, and you mentioned that for them in Thailand, you wanted to become a professional, also a Muay Thai fighter, and you had a first fight, but then no fight because of COVID, which also meant you said no money. So how does it work now for fighters? I imagine you don't get like a monthly salary for training. It's based on fights. What is the system behind?
So actually, I have a contract in France with Hexagon MMA, with the top organization in France. And normally it's like exclusive contract. Like I can't fight in another organization, but they know actually I'm living in Japan, and I ask a special contract to just say my contract is exclusive to Hexagon, but not in Japan. They let me do what I want in Japan. And so they accept. So they was very nice with me for this. And so my goal is to fight one time in France, one time in Japan, one time in France, Japan. And in Japan, actually, I don't have like my contract in France is 1 year, 3 fight, for example, multi-fight contract. In Japan, it's just every time one fight, one fight. It's like a baito.
Do you have to find them yourselves and kind of find people and be like, hey, do you want to fight, and then do the promotion? Or are you kind of just on a list and then the organizers are like, let's put Stephane against this guy?
Yeah, so I'm like on the list. Yeah, we can say that for Jeep and Grachan, but also it's my Japanese manager, so Arato-san, my friend I met in Thailand. He helped me to find fight because he's a rising fighter and has connection with many organization. And of course, he speaks Japanese better than me, so it's more easy for him.
Is it common? Are there many foreign fighters in the Japanese MMA league?
Not that much. Like for example, my last fight was like 17 fight on the card, only 2 foreigners.
Oh, wow. So for that evening or the day of fighting, 17 fights and only 2 foreigners.
And also, there is in Japan there is not that much women's fighters. Like same event, 17 fight, only 1 women's fight, 16 men's fight.
But a lot more in like the UFC in the United States, for example?
Yes, especially the last few years, they create new weight class for women. No, I think there is 3 weight class in UFC for women. And like if you go back 10 years ago, maybe there is no women's, and after just 1 weight class. So it's improved now, better, but in Japan it's still hard.
So you said you like to do one fight in Japan, one fight in France, but also the rules are kind of somewhat different, and also the weight classes are somewhat different. How do you adapt to this? You mentioned having to lose 12 kilos, but I imagine that if you lose 12 kilos, maybe you lose like some strength as well, or but you get faster, and but that means the way you fight in Japan and the way you fight in France has to kind of change all the time.
So for the rules, it's not a big change. So it's easy to adapt. For the weight, it's so in Japan, I fight big guys, but I can eat what I want, so it's easy for the diet. In France, it's more hard. And so, for example, so now today I'm 98 kilo. I start my diet from next week. I will have to lose like 5 kilo in 1 month. So I will be like 93. Then the next month I will maybe lose 3 more kilo, so 90. And I will arrive in France 1 week before my fight at 90 kilo. And so I fight at 86. And the last 4 kilo is just water. The day before the fight, you have the weight check. And so that day before, you stop drinking water, you stop eating, and do like a water cutting, like sauna, and lose 4 kilo of water. And then you check your weight. Like, for example, my fight is on Friday. So on Thursday morning, you have the weight check. And then after this, you can drink and eat again.
Good. So that means on the fight day you'll be a bit heavier than at the weight check.
Of course, I think on the weight check, I will be 86. And 24 hours later on the fight, I will be like 94, 95.
What? That's like 10 kilos overnight.
Yeah. Like, for example, I also bring a Japanese fighter in France to fight. I did already 2 times. In January this year, I bring Daichi Mikami, he's a very good fighter, to fight for a title match in France. And it was crazy. He cut too much. Like, he checked his weight on Wednesday, it was 94. On Thursday morning, he was 84. He lost 10 kilo in one night. But he almost died. He was like this. During the night and the hotel, it was like this. He can't talk, can't do anything. It's dangerous. So I don't do 10 kilo. I just 4. But yeah, 10 is too much. And he did it, and he fights. So like Wednesday, 94. Thursday, 84. Friday, 95.
It's just hard to comprehend, and it doesn't seem healthy at all.
No, of course
Maybe
not.
more unhealthy than the fighting itself.
Yes, it's very dangerous, and I don't like it. I think it should be illegal because it's kind of cheating, because you cut weight and take risk for your body just to be heavier than your opponent. For me, the weight check should be on the day of the fight, and then you can't recover from this kind of water cut. Actually, we give you 1 day to recover. It's dangerous. If we check the weight on like maybe a few hours before the fight, should be more natural for me. Because actually, not heavyweight because it's a bit different, but if you don't do water cut on a high level like Rising or UFC, you start the fight with like maybe 5-10 kilo difference with your opponent. It's so much. It's like you fight a guy, normally he's 2 weight class up more than you.
How do I imagine this? Because I have never boxed. If a guy 10 kilos more than me punches me, how different is it from a guy same weight as me punching me?
So it's harder, but also MMA, we have wrestling and grappling, and taking down someone 10 kilo more than you, it's a big difference. If you're on the ground and there is a guy sitting on you like a mount position, 10 kilo more than you, it's a big difference.
Hmm. You said you were organizing fights for Japanese fighters in France. How do they approach that? Do you notice a big difference when you bring Japanese fighters to France and like the French MMA scene? And
It's difficult because for both of them, it was the first fight outside of Japan.
Mhm.
Because like Japan is an island, and most of Japanese fighters only fight in Japan. Because first, they don't speak English, they speak only Japanese, and they don't have the opportunity. That's why I try to do this. And it was difficult to, how to say,
Convince them to do
yeah,
it?
exactly. But for example, so the first Japanese fighter I bring in France was Arato-san, my friend. So same, he fight for a title match. And at the beginning, he was not sure. And when he arrived, when he see the trip in France like for free because they pay you the flight ticket, or they take care of him and the show on French TV, he was so happy to accept this fight.
I want to come back like to Japan a little bit. And how is your career now evolving? Like, what are your goals that you have? You've been doing this professionally in Japan for a couple of years. You mentioned you're 32. I don't know until what age these kind of MMA careers go, but
Actually, my goal is to fight maybe 5 more years,
okay.
around 37. My body start to be old. Actually, I have some injury, so it's a bit hard to fight with injuries. And my goal is rising, of course, in Japan. And so I fought last week, and my goal, of course, was to win against Inada-san. I lost by armbar. I did a very bad fight, and my plan at the beginning was to win this fight by KO, do this interview, and say I want to fight in Rising in November. It was my plan. But I did a very bad fight. I told you need to be physically ready, technically ready, and mentally ready. I think I was not mentally in my fight. I was not enough aggressive, too much waiting. Like my last two fights, I think too much. Sometimes you just need to go. Like it's fight, and it's very hard because you can be the best at training, but you fight maybe just 3 times in the year. So if you miss the opportunity, maybe you don't have this for 1 year. And actually, I missed my last two fights. I was very bad on both of those fights because I was not mentally ready. My fight in February, for example, I entered in the cage, and for the first time that happened, I entered in the cage. And in my head, I was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do against this guy. It will be very hard." If you start thinking like this, you lose, of course. You need to be like, "I will win."
How do you approach you lose the fight? It's over. You have to wait another few months.
Yeah.
How do you process that? You step out of the cage, the fight is over, and
It's very hard. Like actually, I think my fight in February was a mistake. I took it just 2 weeks short notice. I didn't train for 1 month, and I accept the fight in 2 weeks. So I trained 2 weeks for big fight in France on TV. So first mistake. And my opponent was Bafode Gassama, who is a European world champion amateur, and it was his first professional fight. But as a amateur, he was like maybe like 20 fight, 18 win. Like it's very, very strong. And at the beginning, when I accept the fight, I was thinking it's good opportunity and I'm ready. But I was lying to myself. I was physically not ready. And when I trained just the 2 weeks, I saw I was not ready. And so many doubts in myself. And yeah, I enter in the cage like very stressful, and I make mistake from the beginning. My coach tell me, don't kick him because everyone know you are very good at kicking, so he will catch your leg and try to take you down. The fight start, I kick. Because it's like a body reflex. I did kicks for 15 years, and I don't respect the game plan for the first second. And of course, he rush on me, put me on the cage, take me down, and finish the fight.
And after the fight, how do you kind of reset mentally to prepare for the next one?
Like this fight was very hard. Actually, I'm not the kind of people who cry. And first time of my life, I go out of the cage and I'm crying. That never happened before. And I was like mentally down. Like, yeah, this fight was a mistake. Like, it's my fault, not the fault of my coach or the referee or something. It's my fault. I accept the fight in bad condition. It was like in my life, I was not happy, like some money problem in my life. So if you have too much bad thing in your head and you have to think about your fight, it's too hard. You need to be ready mentally. So you need to have good condition and everything is okay in your life. Then you have good condition for your fight. But yeah, this fight was a mistake. But it's experience. I know I will be more careful when I accept fight now.
So you've got another planned 5 years of fighting, maybe 2-3 fights per year. Still quite gives you quite a few opportunities to kind of
Yeah,
get into the ring.
yeah. Actually, I have so two goals. In these 5 years, I want to fight in Rising. So my first goal was to fight in November because it will be the Kobe event in Kobe.
Hmm.
And my friend Aratosan fight heavyweight in Rising and lost his last fight against Sina Kalimian, who was K1 world champion. He's like 2 meter, 120 kilo, big guy. And I want to revenge him. So
Wow.
take the fight to revenge my friend. I did it last year. He lost a fight in shoot boxing, kind of kickboxing. And I take the fight against his opponent and I revenge him by KO. I want to do the same thing in Lysin. And so my goal was to win last week and do this, but maybe it will be hard to have a fight in Rising after a loss.
Yeah, you need to kind of win a few again before you
Yeah.
can kind of step into
I'm
it.
not famous. If you are very famous, you can lose fight. They give you fight because people want to see you fight. I'm not famous, so I need a good sport result. And actually, I was very bad in my last fight, so it's hard to lose my fight and ask a fight in the biggest organization after. And so my second goal is in France. My next fight will be in Hexagon MMA in September. So my goal, of course, is to win. And next year they will do a tournament at 84 kilo, 8 fighters. The winner win 100,000 euros.
Wow.
So my goal is to fight in September, win by KO, and prove I have the level to do this tournament.
That's a big cash prize for a fighter.
Especially for me, because actually my salary for fight is very bad.
What is a typical revenue you get if you have a fight in Japan? Let's say you're not at the top, but like you're a normal professional fighter.
Actually, in Japan is horrible. It's horrible. Like my first pro fight, so the big guy
Mhm.
was 30,000 yen, 180 euros. And they don't pay me hotel and train. I went to Tokyo by myself. I spent more money to fight than what I get.
Does this mean that the majority of professional fighters are doing day jobs, working at an office
Yes,
or something?
yes. If you are in Rising, the minimum in Rising is like 200,000 yen. So means 1,200 euros.
But that's also only every 3 months or
Yes. Some people say, oh yeah, but you win like this money in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Yeah, but maybe I trained 4 months for this and I have to leave. So actually in Osaka, I'm coach. So that helped me to live. But yeah, like my last fight was like 50,000 yen. Of course, I have sponsor helping me, so it's a good thing. But I need more win because it's like same as a job. You get paid for your work and for your experience, your result. Same for fighter. If you're only losing, you can ask to get paid more. So I need few wins to improve my condition actually as a fighter.
how is the league changing and growing now? You mentioned France, for example, it was illegal until 5 years ago. Now it is. Are there any changes and developments, new categories, new?
So there is some new organization, of course, because it was illegal. And so now in France, there is Hexagon MMA and RS, the top two organization. And after you have some smaller one, but like actually, because it was new, same, it's like a business. Everyone tried to create his own organization. So there is so many different. But the top two is Hexagon and RS.
And in Japan, it's more structured already because it's a bit older.
Yeah. For example, Jeep is like more than 20 years, and they do event like maybe 2 events a month. So it's very big. But the salary in Japan is so bad. Like actually, there is some fighter get paid like 20,000 yen. So yeah, like for fight, and they don't pay hospital if you get injury.
Hmm. Yeah, it makes it
So
difficult. And especially if you get a serious injury, that also means maybe the next day you can't go to your regular job
yeah,
because you're.
actually, I'm working as a coach. I work with just with my right arm because I have elbow injury. So I'm holding mitts with one arm like for 8 hours a day. Actually,
And then you will get that arm injured.
yes, that exactly.
Um, you came to start a career as a professional MMA fighter in Japan, but outside of fighting, you've also kind of built a life here. But you never really thought about living in Japan before. How has it been for you to kind of live in Osaka and adapt here and kind of balance your career and life?
Actually, I'm very happy in Japan. I'm lucky because I have the best girlfriend. Like she's so nice with me, helped me for everything because it was hard at the beginning, especially for the administrative things.
Hmm.
Like it's very hard for foreigners. If you move to America or something, you speak a bit English. It's same alphabet, you can do it. In Japan, I actually I can't read kanji. Yeah, so it's very hard. Also, I think I was lucky about my work because so I came with a working holiday visa, and so I start learning Japanese to try to talk with Japanese people because I want to live here, so I need to talk with people. I find a baito as a kickboxing coach, and at the beginning it was not for money. It was just like I need to talk with people because I'm learning by myself. But if I don't have a partner to talk, it's difficult. I start like this, and finally the customers like me, and it was funny. And so at the beginning it was 1 day a week, then 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and finally they make me a working visa. And so I'm back in Japan with working visa now and working full time.
That's really cool. They're quite popular, right? There's a lot of local gyms, especially for boxing as well. Kind of, you see them on the second, third floor.
So many in Japan. Yeah.
I didn't expect that it's such a popular thing. You see them more than like a dojo for
Yeah,
traditional martial arts.
but the system is different than in France. There is many gym in Japan. It's more fitness. Like actually, my job is more like fitness kickboxing. In France, if I train in a gym, it's like a group class, and there is the coach, and after the customers, like the student. Like yeah, it's better to say student in France, but in Japan, it's customers. And so even if the customer is wrong, you have to say, "Oh, nice, nice," because it's fitness kickboxing. They don't want to not everyone, but they don't want to learn technique most of the time. They just want to punch. And so some customers like are not good, but they just want to like
Release
spend
stress.
energy, yeah, stress out. And so in Japan, I have to deal with this. Like I have some customers like 13 or 14 years old, very good and very good technique, and some adult very bad technique but don't want to learn, but also some women just want to do fitness and lose weight, and old people want to still get healthy. So yeah, it's very different profile because it's fitness gym.
But it's interesting because they want to do this by doing like boxing, which is a combat sport.
Mm.
And
Yeah, but they don't do sparring, for example. Most of people do kickboxing in Japan, never do sparring. They want to punch but don't want to get punched.
interesting. So they would just punch the punching bag. And
And meat, yeah.
I mean, I guess it's a different level, especially if you just do this as a hobby. Kind of the feeling of being punched, I guess, when it happens for the first time, probably.
Yeah, and what I saw also is they have sometimes they have good technique on meets, but because they never get punched, they don't have guard. Or the best defense is manage your distance with your opponent, for example. And they don't understand this because they just punch and kick. And when they ask to do sparring for the first time, they are like this. Yeah, it's working on meets. You can be here and punch someone, but it don't punch you back. And when you start to do sparring, you get punched, and you understand you have to have your hands here, not here, for example. And so yeah, in Japan is fitness. So
So this is now kind of like your semi full time job alongside with your professional fighting. Um, Long term, you said you want to stay here in Japan. You want to continue your full career as an MMA fighter while based here in Osaka. Or?
yes, that's my goal. Like my perfect plan would be to fight like so 4 5 more years, become a little bit more famous, fight in Rising. so have better fight money and save money, and maybe when I can't fight anymore, open my own gym.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good life plan.
So you'll have a local gym around here in Osaka somewhere, maybe in a few years, where people can come and train with you and learn more about MMA and kickboxing and Muay Thai.
Yeah, that's my goal to like yeah in few years open a gym with Japanese speaking class, English speaking class, French speaking class.
Is this difficult to do in Japan? Is it complex, or is it more just you need to set up and find a place, or are there specific regulations because it's combat sport? And
I think it's difficult, but it's about visa. I think for me it's my main problem in Japan actually.
Stefan, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. Do you feel like we covered MMA sports here in Japan pretty well? Is there something that maybe I didn't ask you about that you would have liked to share or go into?
No, it's okay. I think we talk about everything.
So you've got a big fight coming up in September. This episode will be released after, so we'll know the results already. But all the best for that, and for people that wanna watch it, we will share on your socials, and we'll put all your contact information down below. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. This was Unpacking Japan, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future conversations. And we'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this episode, here are a couple more that we think you'll enjoy. Thanks again for your support, and we'll see you next time.